Now, back by popular demand, it's the Lance Roberts Show.
And welcome this morning. It is 6:06 as we get ready to wrap up this week. It's Friday Eve. And apparently, I am told that at least in Houston, by the way. Now, I can't say this for the rest of the country, that, we have listeners all over the country, which is fantastic. We love having you all here. But, I do have to note that here in Houston, if you're up north in the Northeast, of course, you've been dealing with another winter blast. And this weekend, I was just told, is going to be like 65 degrees, dry on Sunday. It's going to be really nice weather.
I may finally get to wash my car.
I know, right?
It's like a biohazard. It's been dirty for so long. It's growing stuff on it.
Exactly. But anyway, it is supposed to be a nice weekend. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. There's going to be some rain on and off. It did, it's going to have some showers here and there. But temperature's going to be nice.
Pocahontas Phil was right.
You're not going to let me live that down, are you?
I think it was great. Brilliant.
And I told you, so yesterday we were talking about this northeast blast that was going on. And I said, what happened with Pocahontas Phil? Apparently he was supposed to, tell us the spring was coming. And I told everybody that it's like, I was joking. I know that's not really his name. And sure enough, I got emails yesterday.
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
Oh, come on, people.
Sure enough, I got emails. His name's not Pocahontas Phil.
It's a joke.
I know.
It's a punchline.
I know. There's always one.
Yeah. I get complaints about
Jussie
Leo.
Smollett is also one.
Who?
Jussie Smollett. Apparently nobody got his joke either, including the police, who have now filed charges for filing a false police report, which is a class 4 felony, by the way.
Hey.
It was just a joke, people. Jeez.
Not.
Yeah, they didn't like it. Anyway.
Friday Eve, I understand.
Yes, it is Friday Eve, and there's a new legal issue that's brewing up. We talked about the fact that as we go through these generational shifts, right? As baby boomers, we like to actually communicate face to face. We like to talk. We write. We actually write in cursive, which has now become an entire code language for young kids.
Might as well be Navajo.
Exactly. And then we talked about how the millennials are, moving more towards texting. And then, of course, Gen Zs are now moving more towards pictures.
Yes.
They communicate better through pictures like Instagram, Snapchat, those type of things.
And we coined the word the emoji bet.
Well, and this is the interesting thing. So today there's an article out that one of the big legal challenges that are now coming up is the interpretation of emojis in legal cases.
I know you're serious.
Did you mean to wink at me in that particular text? What did that wink mean? Sometimes an eggplant is just an eggplant. That's all I'm saying. But yes, so people are, so now these are, so legal, there's going to be legal battles now going on to interpret the meaning of an emoji when it's text to somebody or included in an email or some communication. And of course, these emojis, you can, like I said, my daughter has, my son's name in her phone, and it'll read his name, and she's got his name with the poop emoji.
Yes.
And so it says, Tommy, a smiling pile of poo, because that's what the emoji is, right? A smiling pile of poo. And, well, what does that mean in court, right? I'm offended. Is that defamation? Is it, is it a joke?
It's defecation.
Go away. I'm sending you an emoji right now. And it's a hand with only one finger. What does that mean?
I'm number one.
Yes, you are. But this is the problem. This is the problem.
And 1,000 years from now, when archaeologists are surveying our civilization and they look at those emojis, they're going to go, what in the world are these people thinking?
No. 1,000 years from now, when people are surveilling, our history,
the remnants of our civilization.
Exactly. They're going to go, there's your sign.
There's your
the reason that civilization ended right there.
It was at this point in history.
The missing link has been found. Anyway, all right, look, lots of stuff going on today. Of course, big news yesterday two things, actually, big news yesterday. The Federal Reserve released their minutes yesterday, which was interesting because basically they said that there is a consensus among Federal Reserve members to, stop reducing their balance sheet by the end of this year. Now, hold on a second here. The Federal Reserve took the balance sheet from $900 billion to $4.5 trillion. They've reduced it by about a couple of $100 billion is all. We're still over $4 trillion on balance sheet. So the market declines by 20% last year. And the Federal Reserve says, we don't really understand. Bullard, one of the Fed presidents, says, I don't really understand all the attention paid to the balance sheet. It really has nothing to do with anything. It's just, as our balance sheet matures, we just kind of send the money back to the government. But as soon as the market declines by 20% and Chairman Powell comes under a huge amount of fire from the president, the White House, and, of course, the Wall Street member banks that actually own the Federal Reserve, they've changed their entire tone now. No longer raising interest rates and, of course, now, more importantly, not reducing their balance sheet. And, in fact, we're going to have to get some of our Fed experts on the line. Hey, can you text Michael Leibowitz real quick, see if we get him on the line?
Yeah, sure. I'll call.
Yeah. He's going to love that because he's in New York right now. He's an hour ahead. And he's probably just rolling out of bed. He'll have no shower.
He's just digging out from under.
Just tell him that we don't need to Skype him. Just tell him to call in if you can find him. Anyway, but he's going to love this. The other big news, of course, is that there is an outline, apparently, at this point, between China and the U.S. on resolving some of the trade agreement issues. So this is going to be kind of the big news over the last couple of, it has been the big news. Of course, the market has been rallying on the expectation that we would get some type of trade deal. Well, apparently now there is actually kind of a tentative outline of what that trade resolution might actually look like. So that's been giving the markets a bit of a lift here overnight. Futures are pointing a little bit higher this morning. Not a lot. A lot of this news. The Federal Reserve as well as trade agreement. It's already been priced into the market, but nonetheless, it's positive news in the right direction. And so since this is Friday Eve, let's have a little bit of positive news along the way. Have a good weekend. All right, be right back after the break. I'm your host, Lance Roberts. Don't go away.
Want a longer talk with Lance about your money? Request a personal one-on-one at LanceRobertsShow.com.